Go ahead. Make my day.
I see dead. Restless.
Milk was a bad choice.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand. Wax on, wax off.
Hello, and welcome to Watchlist Rundown, the podcast where we explore the cinematic universe one ridiculous question at a time. We are so glad to have you here with us. My name is Hunter. I am one of your hosts on our show, and I am joined by my good friend and co-host, Nick.
Hello.
And for this episode, we are doing a somber topic. We're talking about the death of cinema and the death of theaters.
It's very sad.
It is very sad. So, lately, I feel like every movie's been a bomb for the most part. Like, obviously, there's some huge movies that do really well. Like, Spider-Verse did great. Obviously, that's going to do well because it's a Spider-Man movie. But there's just, like, before COVID happened, even movies that weren't Marvel movies were still doing
Good.
well. Like, we both worked at the movie theater. I don't know if you worked before COVID at the movie theater, did you? I don't think you did.
I actually, I was hired, but then shut down.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you probably didn't really experience it, but before COVID happened, the movie theater was so busy. We had 4 box offices open and the concession stand, and we were still so busy. Like,
Wow.
there was sometimes lines like 100 feet out.
My anxiety could never.
It was terrible. It was so awful. And people were not very nice, and they were like...
Oh, believe me, I know that.
Yeah, so it was busy. It has not been like that in a long time.
I think...
Like, we at the cinema that I no longer work at, but before I left, we were just in the concession stand. We'd only have the stand open, no box office, and it's been that way for months.
Yeah.
And we'd be fine. Sometimes we'd have really long lines that were going out like the door, but even then, we would get through it quick enough where it wouldn't matter to have the box office open. But if back in the day before COVID, we could not do that. If we had only the stand open, we would have lines like a mile long.
Yeah.
But it's not that way anymore. Like, it's just not. And maybe it's because people are buying their tickets online. I don't know. But, I mean, that could play a part in it, I'm sure.
I mean, still, even the fact that you have to come up and...
Yeah, but people still
tickets.
have to come up, scan their tickets. They have to get food from the stand, all of that.
Yeah.
It's not as busy as it used to be. And I think part of that, honestly, has to do with HBO.
You really think so?
I think HBO is one of the main culprits behind why cinema did not do well.
I'm not gonna
because I mean, go ahead. Really?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
when COVID first started happening, they started releasing movies day of on HBO.
Yeah,
And
that's
you could
why
pay
Mortal Kombat
you could
didn't
pay
get
like
lot
a
of money.
$20 fee or whatever, and then you could watch the movie.
Yeah.
And you could watch it with your whole family, and that was cheaper than going with your whole family to go and see it in theaters because 2 people is over $20 usually.
Yeah.
And if you're going with your whole family, it's more than that. Whereas if you were at home, you pay $20, you can watch that movie with how many people you want. You know, you can have a whole watch party over.
Yeah.
And they did that for a couple movies. They did it for Mortal Kombat.
They did it for a lot of movies. They stopped doing that at the end of 2021.
They did.
So they did it for 2 years.
They did it for
straight.
a while.
Yeah.
And that was not good. Obviously they had to release some. They didn't have to release movies. There was a while that movies did not come out at all.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to do that, but they did. And I feel like it brought about a change where movies started to not get released in theaters. And it also brought about a change of people not going to theaters to see the movies that are in theaters, because now a movie comes out to theaters and then in a month it's already digital.
Not even.
Like The Flash is about to become digital. I think it just became digital actually.
I know Guardians just became
digital. The Mario movie they literally announced before the movie was even in theaters when the digital was coming out.
Fast 10 was on digital.
They came out in like 2 weeks. Yeah. Like they don't give the time to marinate in theaters and make that money. They just release it right away on digital.
Same with Creed 3.
Creed 3 came out so fast.
Yeah.
I was on an airplane. Creed 3 had just came out. And they had Creed 3 on one of the airplane screens, like in the movies.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, this movie just came out. It's so weird. Like, I feel like they're losing out on money. Like, not even them releasing quickly. Some movies aren't even coming out at all in theaters. Like the Prey movie. Such a freaking good movie.
Dude, the Hellraiser movie that Hulu did last October, oh my god, that was so good, but it didn't go to the theaters.
I don't understand. You release the movie in theater first. Like, there's so many movies that I would love to see in theaters that don't come. Like
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
That would have
been incredible.
The box
That would have been
office.
so. I would absolutely, in a moment, go and see that movie in theaters.
Well, we were gonna, but they only played it in California.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's driving me nuts. There's so many movies that could do so well in the box office that they just don't release in theaters. Like there was that Netflix movie, All Quiet on the Western Front,
And Army of the Dead.
and Army of the Dead, that didn't release in theaters. They didn't release Pinocchio in theaters, I don't think.
Guillermo del Toro's.
Yeah. Oh, they did for a little bit.
Yeah.
But also they didn't release, and I mean I didn't like the movie, but they didn't release the Tom Hanks one in theaters.
A Man Called Otto?
They did do that. No, the Pinocchio, Tom Hanks Pinocchio. I don't think that was in theaters.
I'm gonna be honest, I really never heard of it.
The Tom Hanks Pinocchio?
No.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
No.
It was terrible.
Really?
Don't watch it.
I know.
There's a scene where Pinocchio is literally kicking his legs like Flash in the water to make a boat go quickly. It's terrible.
Like Dash?
Yeah, like Dash from The Incredibles. And then he doesn't turn into a real boy ever in the movie. Basically, Tom Hanks is like, "You're a real boy to me," and you're like a puppet, but you're a real boy to me. It's so stupid. It was a terrible movie.
He can't enjoy bonfires.
It just what he can't enjoy Bob. That's your dad joke for the day. No more.
Yeah, my bad.
I don't know. It's sad because there's so many good things that could come out in theaters that just aren't. Even TV shows were coming out in theaters.
Okay.
Like there was like an episode of The Walking Dead that came out that was like the season final or something of The Walking Dead a couple years back that came out in theaters.
It was.
They don't do that shit anymore.
No, I know what one you're talking about. It was the Saviors versus Alexandria and Hilltop. It was Negan's final arc as a villain.
I haven't seen that far into the show yet,
okay.
I know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen that far in the show yet.
Yeah,
But because I remember
was released.
there was a standee that we had for it. We literally had a standee for The Walking Dead in the movie theater. We don't get stuff like that anymore. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like, even Fathom events don't always come to the theaters. Like, there's only, like, one theater in, like, the U.S. right now that's playing the Pirates of the Caribbean that's getting re-released for the 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
One theater, and it's, like, 2.5 hours away.
That's the same thing with the Mean One, that horror movie with the Grinch.
I didn't even realize that came out.
It came out
I mean, I knew
last
it came
December.
out, but
Yeah.
it did nothing. Which, I mean, I didn't expect it to, because it's on the same level as, like, the Pooh movie, but...
But the dude who played Terrifier, he was the Grinch, so like everybody wanted to watch it, but they didn't release any of it. And like if you go on Amazon Prime, it says movie unavailable. So like, how are you supposed to watch it?
Really?
Yeah.
Even on Amazon? Amazon usually has everything.
For real?
I mean, even if you had to rent or buy it. Huh. So you haven't even seen it?
No.
Did you try to see it?
I tried, but nobody wanted to go with me to drive 3.5 hours to a
Hell
cinema.
no, not to watch a frickin' Grinch movie that's based off of like a horror take.
If it was a Halloween movie, I'm there. I'm day one. You know.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, but it's a C-list Christmas movie.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so many things.
If it was a horror, it'd be Hallmark.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I love streaming services. They're great. Obviously, I have almost all of them.
Yeah.
But the greatest rerun ever, the movie I was talking to you about the other day,
The one?
The greatest beer run ever.
Oh, yeah.
Or most Apple TV movies, which have high tier names.
Have you seen The Banker?
No, but I think you told me to watch that one.
Yeah, it's with Anthony Mackie.
And then, like, there's the movies that everybody's, like, shitting on Tom Holland for right now that just came out.
Cherry?
Yeah, no, Cherry came out a while ago, but that one also didn't come to theaters.
No.
Anything that comes out on Apple TV, which is a movie, hasn't come to theaters.
Yeah.
And they make high-quality stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Like, they put a lot of money and effort behind their movies, and they get big-name people. There was that Tom Hanks movie that came out as, Finch or something, where he's got, like, a robot?
I think
it's called Finch. I could be wrong. But that came out on Apple TV, didn't release in theaters. There's just so much. I'm okay with having some smaller budget stuff, I guess, not come out in theaters. But there was a time when if a movie came out, it had to come out in theaters first. Almost always. I mean, I guess there was, like, the direct-to-DVD like, things that came out, but that was very rare. That, like, hardly ever happened. And I feel like it's just, like, it's almost the same thing. Everything's just direct to streaming.
And a lot of movies are getting turned into TV shows.
Yeah.
Which Disney Plus...
That's a whole other thing. I don't know. Some things I can understand being a TV shows, and some things I think shouldn't. Like, I think Eternals probably should have been a TV show. Like, I liked the movie. I think it's an unpopular opinion, but I enjoyed the Eternals. I thought it was a pretty decent movie. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed all the characters, but I don't think each of them had the proper amount of time to become an important character. Like, there was so much story there that needed to be told, and they had 2.5 hours to do it. Whereas if you had
so long and so boring. No, the movie was 3 hours. And like
was it 3 hours?
Yeah, it's the second longest.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. Even Riley, who gets bored during movies, she liked it. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was fun. I liked the characters. I liked the story. I liked how they were always there, but they couldn't do anything because they were instructed not to by their higher entities. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a good story. I just wish that it had the time to fledge out its characters in movies, or its characters in a TV show would have given it the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
But there's some things that are TV shows that probably should have been a movie.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight for sure.
Hawkeye should have been a movie. Dude.
Okay, so Hawkeye should have been a movie just because I think Jeremy Renner deserves a movie. However, I really liked Hawkeye. Like, it's like a Christmas show. Like, it's got the Christmas vibe. It's entertaining. It's not slow. Kingpin is in it. Like, I don't know. I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed the action sequences in it. I think it was... Did I say movie? Show. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was good. I think it can stay a show. I didn't have anything wrong with it being a show. But things like Moon Knight... Moon Knight was almost too slow at points, or had stuff it didn't need, where if you cut out some of those scenes and just had a movie, it could have been so cool and good.
Now that you say that, Kenobi
should have been a movie.
Could have been the biggest Star Wars movie in years.
Yep. Well, did you see?
Fucked it.
Did you know that a person made it into a movie?
Yeah, I watched it. It was awesome.
I downloaded it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, dude, it's so good. They cut out
scenes. They changed some, like, the music or something to make it flow. They did a lot of things to it, but there's just that's another one though. Kenobi definitely should have been a movie.
It was
for sure.
Dude, that whole last episode, it was just awesome.
It was so cool.
I would love to see that on
the last
the big
episode of
screen.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is peak Star Wars. It's so cool. I know that
except when that one chick goes after Uncle Ben and Aunt Beru, and that was kind of why.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she got a lot of too much hate. I didn't hate her character. I just felt like it could have been done slightly different. I think she did the best with what she had been given. I didn't dislike her, but she also was sort of annoying at times. But I don't know. Did you ever watch Corridor Crew?
The what one?
Corridor Crew. It's a YouTube channel.
I haven't.
Okay. You should watch them because I think you really like them. But basically they look at CGI and practical effects and stunts, and they'll have people from those movies and shows come in and talk with them. They call it the couch. They sit on a couch together and they watch these movies and shows.
Like the casting couch?
Kinda. What? Wait, what?
Nothing.
Casting couch.
Just continue.
Okay. So basically, they have a couch where they're watching the movies and clips,
Yeah.
and they react to them. And basically, they know a lot about CGI and how the movies are made, and it's super interesting. But they're hating on the scene with Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen, Darth Vader fighting each other in Obi-Wan Kenobi, because they said that the colors of the lightsabers are drowning out everything else around them. And I'm like, I think it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing is that you see the lightsaber and you see their face. You're not supposed to really see the environment around them.
Yeah.
And that's something they were talking about, is how the lighting was too bright and too much where it took everything else out. And I feel like it's supposed to. I don't know. I'm not a huge... I don't know a ton about CGI and practical effects. I know what I've learned from Corridor Crew, honestly. But I don't know, that was something I disagreed with them on. I think that the lighting was impressive, and I thought it told a really cool story. Like, you have like part where you see the red on Darth Vader's mask, and it changes to the blue, and Hayden Christensen's Anakin kind of comes to the surface. It was so cool. That was one of those visual things that I was just like, wow, that is how you tell a story.
Yeah.
But that should have been a movie.
I think movies nowadays are only getting good. Like, they're only like staying in theaters because Marvel movies, so everybody wants to see those, so those will be there. And horror movies, because, you know, basically horror movies only do good if it comes out like end of August through October.
Yeah.
And like Insidious is not doing well right now.
It didn't have any sort of advertising.
Insidious?
Yeah, I didn't see shit for that movie.
I did.
Well, I guess maybe it's my ads are targeted towards horror movies.
Yeah,
so that's possible. But I don't know. I feel like when Hereditary came out, it had trailers constantly. I saw trailers for that all the time, and it looked decent.
I don't like it when a movie has a bunch of trailers because it spoils a lot of stuff.
It does spoil.
Like Halloween Kills, if you watch the second trailer to that, or the first trailer to that.
Does it tell everything?
Dude, you watch that movie and you tell me that's not the whole movie.
Yeah.
Every kill is in the trailer.
Sometimes I'll watch a movie and be like, oh, this is that scene from the trailer. Or I'll be like...
That's what I do.
Or sometimes I'll be like, well, that scene from the trailer hasn't come up yet, so obviously he's fine.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that's what,
if something intense is happening, I'm like, well, he'll be fine. The scene from the trailer hasn't happened yet.
When we went and watched Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And I watched the trailer before I met you at the theater, and I was like, okay, Bumblebee, because he was, flying through the city, so, I was like, it's not dead.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he's gonna come back.
He's gonna come back, yeah. Bumblebee always dies, but he never dies.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's another thing. Well, did you hear about that lawsuit for the trailers that they can't be fake?
Yeah, but Guardians did that. They had fake stuff in the trailer.
Yeah, so
with Gamora holding dragons.
I'm not sure how exactly that lawsuit worked, but basically there was a movie that came out
yesterday.
That advertised that
Ana
de Armas was going to be in it, and she wasn't in it at all. And somebody sued the company that made that movie because she wasn't in it, and they were saying it was false advertising. And so they actually won the lawsuit, and it resulted in this rule change that you can't have fake trailers. And I'm not sure if it's you can't have fake trailers, or you have to follow a certain parameter, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know, because maybe it's just if, say, you had an Avengers movie and it showed that Robert Downey Jr. was in the poster or in the trailer or something, and then he wasn't in the movie at all, and that's where it's too far. You showed Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Iron Man in this movie, and now he's not. I'm pissed. I'm going to sue you. I wonder if it's that, or if it's you just can't have fake shit.
I just think you can't have fake scenes, deleted scenes in the trailer.
I feel like that's not fair, though. Like, because when they release a trailer, that's not the final version of the movie.
True.
Like, there can be changes, or, oh, you know what? I don't actually like this scene, or I want to change this scene, or it doesn't fit, or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't see why they can't delete it. But then now, are they false advertising because that scene's not in the movie? I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't know.
janky.
It's a weird. Maybe I should read more into that rule because I feel like I'm not necessarily speaking properly on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just my opinion is you should be able to do what you want in trailers. You should be able to have fake scenes. Maybe not fake cast. Like if you're not gonna have somebody be in your movie, don't have them in the trailer. That's obvious. But I think that trailers these days show too much, and I am all for having fake stuff in the trailers as long as it's not spoiling. Or not. If it's too juke us out, I'm okay with that because I would love to be able to go into a movie and be like super surprised.
Like Endgame when they released their trailer.
Yes.
And the part
Endgame
where
has one of the best trailers. Like there's a scene where the Hulk is running and he's not.
That's Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah.
Yep. Where they're all running through the woods, but
yeah.
The one I'm talking about is when it's the Endgame trailer and it's Nebula. And she's like doing her like little sword thing, like she like goes rah and then yells. And she's like on the battlefield, but that was actually flashback.
True.
From when she was fighting with Gamora.
Yeah. Well, there's just I think that.
And Thor. Okay, I'm kind of mad.
Oh, Fat Thor.
No, the Thor one where he's like holding Stormbreaker and there's lightning all around him. Like that scene.
I do remember
in the
that.
movie.
That is true.
I was like, that was.
But they also didn't even show Fat Thor.
Which is good.
I
feel like if they would have showed Fat Thor, they're gonna be like change it right now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would be like, "Oh, why did you look like that?"
That's not Thor.
Well, when you get depressed and like your
whole family is dead and your brother is dead
and you failed the universe,
you're
just playing Fortnite in your mom's basement.
Didn't go for the head.
I went for the head.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that there's lots of things that are resulting in the failure of cinema and the decline in people going to the movies. First off, it's expensive.
It's YouTube's fault.
It's
all YouTube's fault.
Yeah.
YouTube killed MTV, and then YouTube started having movies on their thing, so that started killing the like blockbusters and stuff. And then when streaming came, like Netflix started to become better, then that's when the movie stores went out of business, and then COVID happened, and then they really went out of business, and now everything's on streaming, and now everybody's not going to the movie theater.
And movies are really expensive.
It's all YouTube's fault.
Fuck you, YouTube.
Yeah, fuck you, YouTube.
Give me free YouTube Premium.
For real, I'm not gonna pay like $25 for that shit.
I think it's like 10, but
I don't care. I'm over exaggerating.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things, and I don't know. Everybody's blaming the MCU and saying it's the MCU's fault.
You know, they can't say it's the DC's fault because they fucking suck.
Yeah. And I can understand saying it's the MCU's fault, but at the same time, if you make a good movie, people are gonna see it. People are gonna talk about it. Like when The Greatest Showman came out, everybody was talking about it because it was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
Everybody was talking about it, and it didn't do amazing when it first came out, but people kept talking about it, and it started to do very well. Like, it got more and more busy. That movie played in theaters for probably 2 months. It was out in theaters for so long, and it was so good.
How long did Spider-Man play in our theater?
Which Spider-Man?
No Way Home.
No Way Home played for a long time.
It played till at least April.
It was a long time. It was out for a very long time. But there's some movies that if you make a movie that's good enough... You ever see, like, Field of Dreams?
No.
Okay, well, basically there's a saying in it, if you build it, they will come. If you build a good movie and you advertise it well and it's just good, people will come. People will go see it because it's good and people know it's good.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making a half-fledged shitty movie that nobody really cares about, you rushed production, you didn't put the love behind it, nobody's going to come out and watch your movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like lately we've seen just shitty CGI, city acting performances. Like, nobody's really putting in the effort behind these movies that they used to put into them. Like, if you watch, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, those movies came out a while ago now. They still have some of the best CGI. They have incredible CGI.
Oh, yeah.
They don't look like they've aged a day.
One? Oh, my God.
Yeah,
amazing.
the third one, they don't look like they've aged a day. But you look at some of these movies that are coming out now, and they look worse than it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, The Flash. Like, if they made The Flash, and they took the time, and they took the time. The movie is delayed a million times, but it should have been delayed again, because the CGI was shit, and the story wasn't really that great.
George Clooney!
There's just so many things like that they don't put the effort into it that they used to put into movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that Fantastic Four movie that came out.
Fan Four Stick.
Like, it was bad. It was terrible.
I did not enjoy that movie.
It was not good. Take the time to make a good movie. If it doesn't screen well, obviously it's not going to do well. Like, the New Mutants movie. Make a good movie, and people will come out and watch it.
It also doesn't help when every critic is dogging on every movie. Like,
that is true. That's another thing. Critics are stupid. Like, I hate Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes suck. Like, every single movie lately has the worst Rotten Tomato score.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones, not terrible, but not great. It's like a 60% Rotten Tomato score.
I think it's up 40.
No, it's 60. It went up. It was 40. It went up.
Oh, okay.
It's like 60 something. But that's most movies that have come out recently have a bad Rotten Tomato score. And then we'll watch it and we're like, that was fun. That was good. That was great.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the new Transformers movie, I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I do not know why.
And it had not a good Rotten Tomato score at all. Like,
that was such a good movie. It's like probably one of the best Transformers.
it was top tier. I thought it was super fun.
Like,
It didn't give me necessarily the same vibes as maybe like 1, 2, and 3 did.
3 is my favorite.
But it still was fun. It was good, and I was enjoying the movie. There was one scene in it that I saw that was making fun of how they were yelling at each other and having a conversation, but they were like a mile apart. That was funny. But you can tell that there was like some love put behind this movie. They obviously did some fan service with like playing the song, and it was
the original
like,
with the dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun. Dude, oh my god,
that song hits. But it was a good, fun movie.
Yeah,
but the critics didn't like it, and there's
fans loved it.
So many movies like that where the critics aren't fans, and that's the problem.
I swear, if they downgrade Barbie, it's gonna be the end of days.
No, they're gonna give Barbie 100%.
Oh,
that's the type of movie. If it's a Greta Gerwig movie, it's gonna be 100%. Critics love.
I'll say
Greta
it's
Gerwig.
got to be like an 80.
Yeah, there's just so many movies like that. Like, I want to go on Rotten Tomatoes and just like see what the Rotten Tomatoes say about different movies. Like, let's just look and see what ratings they've been giving them lately, because they're not good.
Alright, so Joyride, 91.
Of course, so it does. But then you see Insidious. I mean, I guess you agreed with that.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. That's more, it could be a 50.
So they have a 37 tomato score. And do you know how they calculate the Rotten Tomatoes?
Through the reviews, right?
So basically, it's like it or love it. Or like it or hate it. There's no in between. So if a critic likes it, that's 100% for one critic. If the next critic hates it, that's a 50%. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you have 10 critics, 5 that like it, 5 that hate it, that's a 50%.
Indiana Jones is now 69%.
Yep, 69. Which
Mission Impossible is 99.
hasn't come out yet, though. So, yeah, I did see that, though. That was announced, I think, yesterday, that it was 99.
No Hard Feelings, 69.
Asteroid City has a 73. I've heard that's one of the best movies that he's made.
Flash 64, The Blackening.
Flash 64, I can agree with. I've heard that Extraction is really good. Transformers got a 53. That's bull.
Yeah, no.
That movie was so fun. I don't know what... There's just movies where you're like, did the critics get the same movie? Are they watching the same thing that we're watching? Like...
Yeah, there was a movie that they rated. I was like, are you sure about that?
What? I do remember what you're talking about. What movie was it?
Hang on, I gotta see what Halloween Ends got.
Oh, I don't know, man. That movie was... I feel like that one might have been...
What's your guess? I'm gonna say it's like at least a 30.
Your guess 30? I'm gonna guess they gave it a 70.
40.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, and then
honestly,
57 audience score.
Honestly, fair.
Yeah.
Honestly, fair. But, I don't know, I feel like we're not really giving good examples, but there's stuff that they just have lately been dogging on that have been so good, or the other way around, where they'll say it's so good and it's shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's either they say it's great and... Have you seen Leave No Trace?
I have not.
It was okay. It was kind of slow and boring-ish, but it was still a good story. I don't know. What else is on here? Extraction 2, 79%. That's fair. I haven't seen it, but that's fair. 90 for Dungeons and Dragons. That's fair.
59 for Super Mario.
That was the one. Super Mario Bros. 59? What movie are you watching? Like, the Super Mario Bros. Movie was so fun. Oh yeah, Fast 10? Mm-hmm. They gave that a 57?
Mm-hmm.
That movie was so fun. Like, just for Jason Momoa's performance alone, that deserves
that
like a 70.
Was one of the... It brought back Fast and Furious, in my opinion.
It really was so good.
Fast 9,
they gave
8.
Avatar a bad rating. That was like a 70.
It was 60.
Yeah, but that movie was so good.
Yeah.
That movie...
Yeah.
I love that movie. That's like a solid, at least 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10 for me.
Way of Water, right?
Yeah, Way of Water.
Yeah.
The first one is like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's just so many things lately that they've just been dogging on or loving, where it's if they love it, it's not good, basically. And if they hate it, it is good. It's basically the opposite of what the critics think. I don't know. Sometimes they get it, but not as often. I feel like they need a different system. I feel like if one person loves it and one person hates it, that's not how it should work. Yeah. I think it should be one person gave it a 9 out of 10, one person gave it an 8 out of 10. So overall, it's an 8.5 out of 10. So 85%, you know? That's how it should be. But instead, it's either loved it or hated it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know if I have much more to talk about on the topic, but cinemas are doing not as great as they used to be, and it's sad. I hope that there's something that brings them back.
I think in 10 years, there won't be any more. I mean, I think there will be some, but not as big.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that's not the case, because I really love going to movie theaters, but it could be.
Could be happening.
I do hope not, though. So, I guess we'll see. All right. I think this is going to be the end of today's episode of Watchlist Rundown. This was basically the death of cinema and the death of theaters. So hopefully something comes out that changes that. But I guess we'll see.
Revenge of the streaming.
Revenge of the streaming. Revenge of the movies.
Return of the cinema.
Return of the cinema, yes.
Return of the cinema is coming with Barbie.
It might be Barbie and Oppenheimer. Hey, that could be that could save the cinema. Everybody thought it was going to be Top Gun, but no, it'll be Barbie.
Yeah, come on, Barbie.
All right, so that's going to be today's episode. If you enjoyed it and you aren't following, hit the follow button so you can hear more. We're coming out with episodes pretty regularly, so we would hope to have you listen to more of them. Follow us on all of our different platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those. And thanks for listening. See ya.